Welcome to the Wonder With Me podcast, where I, Dr. Tonia Winchester, invite you to get curious with me about all things mind-body healing, especially how we can unlock the incredible healing power of our unconscious minds, so that we can all get out of stress mode and go back into healing mode. We'll talk about how you can easily create healthy, sustainable self-care habits so that you can calm your mind, sleep deeply, wake rested, and enjoy happy, energized days. Ultimately, so that you can make a bigger difference in your well-being and that of your family and the world around you. These casual chats are for educational purposes only and don't constitute a therapeutic relationship. With all that said, let's get this episode underway. Come wonder with me. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Wonder With Me podcast. I am your hostess, Dr. and/or Coach Tonia Winchester, and this is episode 41, 2 stone cold truths that you cannot deny about your health and your wellness if you want to be well. This episode was inspired by 3 things: a cute little graphic I found on my computer from when I was very first in practice, something that I heard recently that I spun it in a way that you'll be hearing about in this episode, and something that my very good friend and colleague says about supplements and diet. With all of that being said, I think we should just dive into it. Let's get into it. Let's get wondering. Okay, so the stone cold truths are going to come later on in this episode. But first, let's talk about thing 1. So I've been doing some digital decluttering, getting rid of some old files on my laptop and putting them onto a hard drive, or just deleting them because really, how many iterations of a 15-year-old logo do I really need to keep? Answer is 0. The thing that I found that was just so enchanting to me was this graphic that I used to give to people on the first visit. In fact, I had this as a big laminated poster in my office room, and I probably still have that in my guest room closet, another place I'm working on decluttering. Any hoodles. This graphic is called The Basics of Healthy Living, and it is this delightful wheel showing what I called the Lifestyle Super 7, which is 7 different areas of health and wellness that we need to be doing a good job of if we really want to be healthy and well in our bodies and in our lives. And I made it with clip art and janky photographs that I pulled from the internet before there were, image sites that had really good quality images. And it is got some nice fading in the header banner. Oh, it's pretty. I will definitely be putting a link to a place where you can see this image. It'll be on the blog post for sure that's connected to this podcast and in the show notes, of course. And I used to say to patients, there's 7 things that you need to do right if you want to be healthy and well. They had to do them right. And here are the 7 things. So they had to eat right. They had to breathe right. They had to drink right. They had to eliminate right. They had to think and emote right. They had to move right. They had to sleep right, bringing us back to eating right. That was the wheel. For the most part, all of these things that they had to do right fall nicely into my now model of the formula for health in the physical category, the physical level. So these are the things that we do to improve our health and wellness, just tying it into current Tonia's more modern contemporary ideas and philosophy. Okay, back to the Lifestyle Super 7. And here's some of the things that I considered to be right for these people to do. It was right for them to take 100 deep breaths, and it was right for them to be outside for 30 minutes and have exposure to nature. So these instructions are written on the graphic that I would give to people and the thing that was posted on my wall. So it was right for them to drink half of their weight in pounds in ounces of water. It was right to take hot and cold showers. It was right for them to have apple cider vinegar, lemon water, in the morning especially. It was right for them to dry skin brush. It was right for them to do castor oil packs. It was right for them to play every day. It was right for them to learn to express their emotions. It was right for them to move their bodies every day. And it was right for them to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Now, under the food category, there was health-promoting foods, and I had a list. And then I had disease-promoting foods and a list. and I had the disease in a very hard to read curly Q font. The whole darn thing is so adorable. And past Tonia was definitely doing her best. And current Tonia has so much tenderness and compassion for this past Tonia, who was so keen and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and out of naturopathic school and just so excited about helping people get well. And to give credit where credit is due, this wheel was inspired by a naturopathic doctor who came and presented at our school, and he talked about these 7 different areas, and I kind of turned it into my own graphic around it. And then some of the instructions, these correct instructions about how to be right in these areas, comes out of a document that we were given as students called the Basic Treatment Guidelines, written and formulated over his tenure as a naturopathic doctor, a fellow named Dr. Dixon Tom, one of our elders, mentors in the profession of naturopathic medicine. And it's tremendously ambitious to think that one human being is going to introduce all of these things all at once the first time I meet them. It's so sweet. I am now 17 years into practice and have been curating my own healthy practices in my own lifestyle for about that long. And I'm looking at this list going, yeah, no, I still don't do all of that. I do a lot of it, but here's the thing about it. Actually, here's the thing about me now looking at this image, is that I am not convinced that things are right or wrong anymore. We have to find our own pathway. And yes, I'm trained and can help people explore, but the discovery process is actually a very individual one. And so to say this is right and this is wrong, it doesn't match my current value system of bio-individuality, authentic expression, and just doing your own darn thing. So instead of me saying any of these practices are right, what I'm going to invite you to consider is, what are some ways that you can be kind to yourself in some of these areas? And I'm going to link this into my new book because it's such a perfect reframe for this whole thing. The book is called Thinking Kindly: 7 Steps to Stop Self-Criticism and Change Negative Thoughts into Positive Ones. And I want to apply this kindly word to these different categories. So how can you think kindly about yourself to improve your health and wellness? How can you move kindly for yourself as you think about your own personal health and wellness? How can you sleep kindly? What about food? What would it look like for you to eat kindly for yourself, where you are and where you want to be? What about breathing good quality air kindly and exposing yourself to nature kindly? What about hydrating kindly and, yes, eliminating kindly? I don't know what this is going to mean for you, but I do know this. And the thing that I know is that this is one of the stone cold truths of health and wellness. And this is the second thing that inspired this particular episode, in addition to this image. It tied in so beautifully. The first stone cold truth that you can no longer deny if you want to be healthy and well is that you cannot outsource your own self-care. Woof, right? I heard someone say that you can't outsource your decision making, and it immediately made me think of all of the areas in our health and in our lives that we need to be doing things kindly so that we can be well. And it's not something that we can hand off and pass along to anyone or anything. Even if you go to the gym and have a personal trainer, they may be telling you what to do, but you're the one who has to put the reps in. And it's the same with my patients as I'm counseling them in different lifestyle strategies to improve their well-being. All I can do is show them some options. I'm not the one living in their body. I'm not the one waking up every day in their life. I'm not the one who is dealing with the things that they're dealing with every day. I've got my own stuff like that to deal with. So they can't outsource the decision of self-care, and they can't outsource the action of it either. And nor can you. So here's what I suggest you consider considering when your hands are free. So once you're no longer driving, if you happen to be listening to this in the car. Kudos for you for getting some wonder with me moments in as you drive about. Get a piece of paper or a journal, whatever you'd prefer, and write down those categories: food and eating, air, nature, water, elimination, thinking and emotions, movement, and sleep. I'll have these categories listed in the show notes. And under each category, ask yourself this question: what can I be doing differently in each one of these areas to be kind to myself, more kind than I'm currently being? And you can add other categories. For example, I think that we need sleep, which is what I call passive rest, and something different now that I talk about called active rest. I have a post about this that has 20 different ways to prevent burnout, and they're all things that involve active rest, which are when we're awake and not actually sleeping, but just resting. And this is an okay thing to do in our lives as human beings. I hereby give you permission to enjoy active rest as a part of being kind to yourself in your day-to-day experience. I'll take a quick moment to talk about why no longer am I of the vein, something is right and something is wrong. Yesterday I met with a patient for the second time after having met her for the first time, setting a great plan out for her, including some of my favorite herbal medicine helpers. I often call them herbal allies. And she came back to tell me that the remedies had made her vomit for 2 weeks straight until she put it together and stopped them, and then didn't throw everything up that she was eating anymore. Even though it's been right for hundreds of people before her, it was not right for her. What's right for me and my body where I'm at may not be right for you. I have deep respect for individuality and unique needs. So this questionnaire is all about you and your perception. Nobody has to read this list or these lists. It's just for you. And so be honest. Out of these areas, what could you be doing that would be more kind? Remembering that you cannot outsource any of these things. I met with another patient this week who was doing a very specific eating program called FODMAP, which she had found on her own and had started and had noticed some good benefits with it. And this is a great example of common eating programs that you can find where there's a very clear no, don't eat this list, and a very clear yes, eat this list. This black and white approach is not kind to us as individuals. We need something unique for ourselves, and that discovery process, especially around food, can take a long time. I mentioned in an earlier podcast in the last month or so about my favorite food as medicine eating program because of its bio-individual approach is called the Metabolism Plan by a lady named Lynn Janae Rositas. I, as a patient, decided to revisit this because I have a target goal in mind for the body composition that I want to have. And I knew it would help me to move through the plateau that I'd been in for several months because of its ability to get inflammation out of the system and teach us what it is that's causing us to be inflamed and not able to release weight. It's day 17 as I record this, and it's been a great success. I'm currently 1.4 pounds away from my target. And I will iterate that the number on the scale is not the important thing, but it's just part of the measurement system in this program to know that you're going in the right direction. So since starting 17 days ago, my body has released 7 pounds. In a way where I'm eating tons of food, am very full. Most of the time I skip a snack because I am so full between lunch and dinner. And this way of eating is very kind to me, and it could be kind to you too. But that's not the purpose of this podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to share with you 2 stone cold truths that you cannot deny when it comes to your health and wellness if you want to be well. And that is truth number 1, that you cannot outsource your own self-care. If there's something that you want to change about how you feel in your day-to-day, in your body, then it's on you to make those changes. There are people like me who can help offer solutions and ideas and bridges that can cross the chasm of from where you are to where you want to be. But ultimately, you're the one who has to put one step in front of the other to cross that bridge. Now, I mentioned herbal allies. It's often true in my practice, I don't do a lot of quote-unquote supplementation. I rely heavily on my herbal allies as remedies because more often than not, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for remedies. But you could put, in these categories, supplementation as one of the categories. How can you be more kind to yourself when it comes to supplements? Maybe there's things that you mean to take, but you're not consistent about them. And this brings us to the second stone cold truth that you can no longer deny about your health and wellness if you really want to be well, and that is you cannot out-supplement a poor diet and lifestyle. Woof again. You cannot out-supplement a poor diet or lifestyle. This quote comes to one of my favorite people. Her name is Dr. Allison Danby of the Autoimmune Simplified podcast. I will put a link to our 2 episodes that we have recorded together on her podcast. She and I were in naturopathic college together and in residence together as well. We played hard, we worked hard together, and she is such a world-class authority on all things autoimmune. So highly suggest you check her out. And what she says is so true. We can't out-supplement any deficiencies in any of these areas, whether it's food, air, water, elimination, thinking, our emotions, movement, sleep, active rest. All those things matter, and they add up over time, but they need to be approached with kindness and gentleness and with the expectation that you build habits over time for a long time, and with the understanding that things are dynamic and are going to change over time as well. Maybe you go through a phase of being really into yoga and that being a really kind thing for your body, and then maybe you go through a phase of running being the thing that really is kind, or maybe it's dancing. Hello, dancing. Yes, it should definitely be dancing. That is one thing that is undeniably right for everyone, right? Right. Just kidding. The whole premise is what's right for me is not right for you, and what's right for you is not right for someone else, and we can't outsource any of this. We have to walk the walk ourselves. My patients that embody and follow the lifestyle of the metabolism plan, yes, same eating program I mentioned before, they know that over time their bodies decide for them that they want different foods. Suddenly, something that they've been eating as a friendly food is no longer working for them anymore. It's not right for them anymore. It's reactive, and they find a new food that is good for them. Let's wrap up by reviewing the 2 stone cold truths that you cannot deny when it comes to your health and wellness if you want to be well. And truth 1 is that you cannot outsource your self-care. And truth 2 is you can't out-supplement a poor diet or lifestyle. I highly encourage you to, in your journal, write down in each one of these categories or other categories that you come up with that are important for you. Maybe it has to do with relationships, communicating, social activity, creativity, time, all of these things. And then for each category, what can you do within that category that would be really kind? Now, it's not to say that you have to do all of those things at once. That's definitely not the point. In fact, it is the opposite of the point. But what I would encourage you to do is pick something that feels extra kind and focus on that for a while. Do yourself the service of spending 90 days with that kind thing and notice what benefits, results, rewards you get back from being the one who is kind to yourself in that area. A couple ways I can help. My new book, Thinking Kindly, 7 Steps to Stop Self-Criticism and Turn Negative Thoughts into Positive Ones. This can help you in that category to think more kindly. Active rest. I'll put the blog post that has the 20 ideas for active rest. You can maybe pick a kind thing out of that list. Sleeping, my first book, Break Through the Insomnia Cycle, How to Sleep Deeply, Wake Rested, and Enjoy Happy, Energized Days. That might be a way for you to help sleep kindly, to eat kindly for yourself. I just highly recommend Lynn Janae's book. Her program is the most powerful food as medicine eating program, again, that I've come across in my 10 years as a naturopathic doctor so far. 17 years at the time of this recording in 2024. And she will teach you how to eat and actually move kindly as well for yourself, for your own individual unique needs. I'm going to leave it there today because we've already gone up to 22 minutes. So with all of that said, may you choose to make all of your dreams come true, remembering that you cannot outsource that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I can't wait to catch you next time on the Wonder With Me podcast. Hey, thanks for wondering with me today. If you've got something good out of this, then please forward this episode along to the people who you know could benefit. Be sure to subscribe, and if you're really keen, you leaving us a rating and review helps us to help more people, so thank you in advance for that. If you're wanting more insights about how you can leverage the power of your unconscious mind to go back into healing mode, head on over to ToniaWinchester.com, where you'll find my book, Breakthrough the Insomnia Cycle, and other helpful ideas. Thanks again, and we'll connect on the next episode of the Wonder With Me podcast. In the meantime, may you choose to make all of your dreams come true.